Hello, it's Sarah and welcome to my very first speed build on my channel. So today's video I am doing a starter home on a budget. It is a family home with a budget of 24,000 simoleons. This is 2 parents and a teen. I wanted to make my first video a base game starter home just to start out with the basics and then work my way up in the building side of The Sims. So right now I am making a window with shutters made out of window, kind of like those Venetian blinds. And I think I did this because I wanted to have different colored shutters than just the green, but then I'd realized that I just like the small windows that had the shutters already with it, and decided to go with a green and white theme. This is the first time me making a Sims YouTube channel, and so first time me doing a in-depth, really long voiceover as well, so I'm trying not to do the ums and ahs. But yeah, so that might happen, as I just said right now. But yeah, so right now I am working on the layout of the house. I wanted to start a home that had 2 floors, with the downstairs being kind of like the kitchen, the living room kind of area, and then the upstairs is where all the bedrooms would be. And right now I'm trying to work out the back door, and I think I end up changing this later on. I'm just working on also trying to get the layout. I wanted to do a bay window in the front, and that's where I'm going to put the living room. I also gave myself 2 hours to do this speed build, just straight out of the gate, non-stop, just timed 2 hours, no breaks, no idea. I didn't have any inspiration photos for this. I just had a general idea of the layout I wanted to use for this. The dining table, I think that's the table and chairs that came with the patch update we recently had for celebrating Spanish Heritage Month, and I always like that set. And right now I'm working on the staircase. I really struggled with this. I wanted to kind of make it look like it was split, like a split foyer, but ended up just with a standard sized staircase. And now I'm just working on the half bathroom. This is very loosely inspired by the typical cookie cutter houses you'd find in the States. And I wanted the look of this house to be just kind of basic, not too many things in it, mainly because we are working with a starter budget, and with The Sims it kind of seems like you could have a starter home that's decently sized, but then there won't be too much in it, or you could do a tiny home but have more things in it. So when I was working on this, I just decided that it would probably be best for it to kind of look like a show home that you'd see in the States, that I've seen a million times. I'm originally from the United States, but I currently live in the UK. I moved here about 5 years ago when I got married, and I haven't been home in 2 years because of the pandemic, so I kind of was missing home, so I kind of made the starter house kind of look like the similar layout to US houses, and mainly because the houses here in the UK are a lot different than in the States. They're a lot smaller, and they can be quaint, but it's just different builds. Everything here is just built out of brick versus home. It's kind of studs and drywall. But yeah, and so right now I'm working on the front porch. I wanted to have just this bump out in the front where the bay window is, but then I was working on the roof and I was just struggling to kind of make it look nice. Roofs are difficult at the best of times in The Sims, so I decided to just expand the upper floor, and here I am using this 3-window starter window piece, which I don't think I keep in the end, but I did add the roof piece over the bay window, which I think looks nice. It gives it a bit of character. One thing about like base game homes in The Sims is that they lack character. I know when I first started The Sims 4, the houses that you start with are very basic and non-homey. I think a lot of people have that issue with the base games houses that come with the packs and everything in The Sims. And right now I'm working on the master bedroom in here. Speaking of The Sims, I started playing The Sims 4 just recently. I know that the game's been out for like a decade almost. I'm one of those oldie gamers. I don't know if that's the right word, but I started playing The Sims when the original came out back in the early 2000s. Was it 2000, 2001 I think it's 2000 that it came out. But I was 11 I think when I started playing the original Sims, and it's just been an on again, off again love affair. I've always loved playing it just to relax and as an escape. And The Sims and The Sims 2 and Sims 3, they all had issues of loading, and I never had very advanced computers to game on, so I never got like too many packs. Usually I think maybe I've had 3 packs per version of the game for the entirety of all of The Sims. So when The Sims 4 came out, it was completely different. I got a new laptop when the pandemic hit because we needed a new computer to work from home, and the specs are really good on it, and then I realized, I could probably play The Sims 4 on this. And so I think it was the pandemic last summer, I think I downloaded The Sims 4, and it's been an obsession ever since. I've really enjoyed playing it. It's the best graphics and storytelling, and the build mode's just amazing in The Sims 4. It's so much better than the previous games. The Sims 3 had a lot of unique features, and I think you're always going to compare the previous version because you've played it the longest compared to a new version of something. But I think I prefer The Sims 4 out of all of the Sims games in the franchise. But yeah, so right now, let's see, I'm working on lighting, and I'm pretty much done with the layout of the house. I wanted to keep it basic, so I had the same paint color everywhere. And then I did a little bit of different flooring. Downstairs, I think I had hardwood floors, and upstairs was carpeted. I'm just working on the roof right now. I kind of switch back and forth when I do builds. And so right now I think I'm working on painting the outside of the house, and it's brick. I originally started out doing a brick foundation, and I think I use that same brick with the chimney as well. And the windows in the back on the upper floor, I do change them later. And see if we're gonna do the brick right now. I think I like the idea of it first, because you see a lot of US houses have a portion that's brick front, and then the rest of it's like the siding. or cladding that you call it. That's what they call it here in England. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. So I ended up changing to stone, and this base game stone is really nice wallpaper. And then I think I end up changing the siding of the house. I had like a white siding, but then I changed it to a more yellowy color. I think that just made it pop a bit more. It was looking a bit stark on the outside, and it goes a lot better with the green. Here I am kind of messing around with the windows, and eventually I do some landscaping, I think, and the porch. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Here I am changing the windows around, trying to just make it look tidy. And then yeah, I ended up expanding the porch so it's kind of looks semi wraparound. And there was more that I wanted to do with the house, but because we were on 24,000 simoleon budget, kind of had to be a bit restrictive on what I could do. But I think it's nice to do these kind of starter home speed builds and things, because first of all, it's a lot more challenging doing base game with all the packs that came out. I think I have several I think at least 10 packs, and that's expand like the normal expansion pack, and then these other like smaller ones like nifty knitting, and I think I have eco lifestyle and that sort of stuff. It's a bit odd with all the expansions, because back in the day when it was more like you had to go and install the software with a CD or a DVD. I'm not very tech savvy, as you can tell, but you used to get it like in a jewel case, and then you'd load it into your game and things, and that was just the expansion pack. These days, the Sims 4 is just all these different kinds of names and stuff packs and kit packs and things. Anyway, I sound like an old grumpy lady. Right now I'm working on the walk-in closet. Oh, I miss closets so much. That's one of the things I miss the most about living in the United States versus here in the UK and England, is the lack of closets. Like, I live in an Edwardian era house. It's my husband had this house when we got married, and so we renovated it, and so it's 100+ years old, and there's a lot of things wrong with it, but on top of it, there's just no storage. There's no closets. And that's something I had to kind of adapt to here, is just buying a whole load of wardrobes to organize all my things, because these closets are just, they're a luxury here, not a basic necessity. So yeah, I added a walk-in closet to this house, and the shelving that I put in it kind of ate up some of the budget. And if you're downloading this, my EA ID is SarahDipitySims. I'll have it linked in the description of this video. You can go check out my other builds. They're not as basic as this, but this is just my first attempt at a YouTube video. Hopefully I'm not too all over the place and rambly. It's just, I think, if anything, I'm just a bit nervous. And yeah, so right now I am working on the landscaping. I kind of struggle with the landscaping here. Landscaping just costs so much, especially when you have base game. So I ended up using, I think, a lot of debug items, but first I went around just with the normal landscaping options without opening up the debug menu, just to get the basic layout. I think right now I'm adding dirt. One thing I do miss about The Sims 3 versus Sims 4 is in The Sims 3, the landscaping texture, they had mulch. And they don't have mulch in The Sims 4 in any of the expansion packs I've gotten. And base game doesn't have it either. It's just various versions of dirt and sand and gravel, which is okay. But yeah, I just miss a good mulch texture. Yeah, Yeah, maybe that's just the oddball homeowner in me, just misses mulch. Does anybody, do you like, I have fond memories growing up in the States, just the scent of pine mulch being spread on my parents' flower beds in their house, like just associating spring and summer with the smell of like freshly cut grass and mulch. So yeah, I don't know, I'm rambling again. I think right now I'm just going about the house, and I'm trying to add nightstands, or end tables as they call it here, to the beds. And I had a clown, one of that clown pictures over the fireplace, but that was too much simoleons. I think that was over 200 simoleons, so I got rid of it, and instead I got a tree. I like that tree. I think it's an elm tree. It's a nice base game tree to add to your house. And I added this pebbles texture to the back like patio slab, but ended up changing that because I didn't like the look of the pebbles. And now I'm opening up the debug menu, and I am going to be swapping out some of the landscaping for debug, because if you didn't know, the debug plants are free. There's 0 simoleons, and so that just helps with the budget, keeping it on track and stuff. And then I do end up changing out that Spanish Heritage dining set for the cheapest table and chairs I could find in the game that looked decent and looked like a matching set, and changing the bench in the front. And now just kind of, I wanted to add a bonsai tree for skill building or a painting easel, so I'm kind of going through and changing any light fixtures or plants that I could save money on, so that there's at least some skill building in the house. And there is the painting easel, and I think this is the end of the video. So thank you for putting up with all of my ranting and for watching my very first speed builds, and until next time, I'll see you later.